Hello dear students of third prep science for second term, and today we have to study the last lesson in our syllabus in this term. We will talk today about the hormones in our bodies. But firstly, we should know what is meant by hormones and why or the organs that hormones are secreted from. So let's go to start our lesson today with hormones and the glands, especially the ductless glands that secrete the hormones in our bodies. So as we see here, dear students, we have hormones in the human body as unit 4, lesson 1, hormones. Okay, firstly, we have to know the first point in our lesson today. We have to know, as you see here, the hormone. يعني ايه هرمون اصلا؟ كلمة هرمون. Hormone is what? Is a chemical message. Is a chemical message. Control and organize the what? The vital activities in the living organisms. طبعا in the living organisms bodies. So we have here to know. We talk about what? Hormones as we see here. So we have to know what is meant by hormones as a chemical message or a chemical substance. بتعمل ايه؟ Controls and organize. بتنظم يعني بتعمل تنظيم. The vital activities. The vital activities. The important activities in the bodies. As we can't live without hormones. So we know what is meant by hormones now. عرفنا يعني ايه hormones as chemical message, control and organize the vital activities in the living organisms bodies. So we have to know here the endocrine glands. كلمة endocrine glands which means ductless glands اللي هم بيسموها بالعربي غدد صماء. So how can we define here the endocrine glands as the definition of endocrine glands? As secrete the hormone. بتفرز الهرمون أو the hormones directly in the blood. Directly in the blood. يعني the endocrine glands or the ductless glands. Ductless glands. Duct which means tube. So this glands are ductless يعني has no ducts ما عندهاش tubes ما عندهاش أنابيب. So they secrete hormones directly in the blood. بتفرز الهرمون مباشرة في الدم. As we see here, dear students. So now we know what is meant by hormones as a chemical messages, control and organize the vital activities in the human body or in the living organisms bodies. As we know now what is meant by endocrine glands, as we can define them as ductless glands. Here we have they secrete hormones directly in the blood. So we have to know the first gland in our body. As we have here, this gland is called pituitary gland. Pituitary gland. This gland, its location موقعها فين? Below the brain, تحت المخ. As we have here, the location of the pituitary gland as below the brain أو تحت المخ هنا هوت. In this place, the place of pituitary gland. So firstly we know the location of pituitary gland below the brain تحت المخ, and its size and shape. Its size like it's small in size, and at the same time it has the size of pea seed. عاملة زي حباية البسلة. Pea seed. Okay. So the first gland is called the pituitary gland. عرفنا البيتيوتري gland بتاعتنا. عرفنا location below the brain تحت المخ. Its size small in size. Its shape as size pea seed. and its secretion. بتفرز ايه ال pituitary gland. Secretion which means الافراز of the pituitary gland. We should know here the secretion of pituitary gland is what? We have number one as the pituitary gland is called the master gland. It's called what? The master gland. الغدة الرئيسية. Or the main gland. Main gland. And here we have give reason for. The first give reason in our lesson today. The pituitary gland is called master gland or main gland. ليه بيسموها الغدة الأم أو الغدة الرئيسية؟ main gland أو master gland. Why? We should know the answer of this give reason here, dear students, as because it secretes hormones, بتفرز هرمونات that control what? The activities of other endocrine glands. So, pituitary gland secretes hormones control the activities of other endocrine glands. بتتحكم في ال other endocrine glands. We have about in our lesson about 8 glands in this lesson. So these glands الغدد دي are controlled by pituitary gland. By what? By pituitary gland. This gland secrete hormones بتفرز هرمونات to control the activities of other endocrine glands. So now we know why this gland is called what here, dear students? It's called the master gland or main gland in our body, or in our bodies. Okay. Number 2 here, as we still talking about the pituitary gland. احنا بنتكلم لسه على pituitary gland. secrete growth hormone بتفرز هرمون النمو. pituitary gland secrete growth hormone. growth hormone بيعمل ايه growth hormone؟ growth hormone control the growing of muscles and bones. بيتحكم في نمو العضلات والعظم. during childhood this hormone is secreted during childhood. بيفرز في مرحلة الطفولة from the pituitary gland that controls the growth of what? Of muscles, bones and the organs. يبقى growth hormone هرمون النمو control what? Controls the growth نمو muscles, bones and the organs in our bodies. So we have to know the second hormone. If the growth hormone decrease of secretion in the growth hormone. لو growth hormone حصل ان هو قل decreasing of growth hormone during childhood, ايه اللي يحصل للبني ادم ساعتها؟ يبقى يحصل هنا man suffers from dwarfism. dwarfism يعني قزامة قزم. So we have, as we see here in this picture, we have dwarfism. So why? أقول له طبعا الأنسر بتاعتي due to what? أقول له due to decreasing of growth hormone. طبعا during childhood. So we have the first case as dwarfism, قزامة. If the growth hormone increases, or the secretion of growth hormone increases, أو زي ما احنا شايفين increase of secretion in the growth hormone, طبعا during childhood we have what? Man suffers. هنا كلمة man معناها إنسان، مش معناها man يعني male, including male and female. Man suffers from gigantism. gigantism. gigantism معناها عملاقة، يعني its height may reach or becomes more than 3 meters، يبقى طوله أكتر من 3 متر. So here we have gigantism as we talk about human suffers from gigantism due to increasing of growth hormone, as we have to see this picture between this man and other man. So we have a big difference, a great difference in height between them. Why? Because we have here case of gigantism أو عملاقة زي ما بنسميها بالعربي due to increase of secretion in the growth hormone during أثناء childhood، مرحلة الطفولة. So, dear students, now we know how can we mention the cases or the main function of the pituitary gland as location of pituitary gland below the brain, okay? And this gland secrete two main hormones. Number one, hormones control the other endocrine glands activities. So, pituitary gland is called the main or master gland. At the same time, growth hormone is secreted from the pituitary gland also. So if the secretion of growth hormone control the growing of muscles العضلات, bones العظم, and other organs وأعضاء الجسم. So if this hormone secretion increases more than normal limit، أكتر من الحد الطبيعي، we have gigantism، جاي من كلمة gigantic يعني عملاق. Okay? And if the growth hormone decreases during childhood, we have dwarfism. So man suffers in this case, or human suffers in this case, from gigantism. As we have here to see this video, to talk about the pituitary gland, as we have here the location of pituitary gland below the brain. Okay, تحت المخ زي ما احنا شايفين مكانها. Okay. And the pituitary gland size consists of two lobes، عبارة عن anterior and posterior lobe، فص أمامي anterior lobe and posterior lobe، فص أمامي فص خلفي. Okay. This gland بتعمل إيه؟ control the the growth of all muscles, bones and organs in the body. بتحكم في النمو بالنسبة للجسم. And at the same time, the growth hormone secretion control the other endocrine glands. بتتحكم في other endocrine glands زي الثايرويد gland, and we will study what is meant by and the function of thyroid gland، الغدة اللي أعتقد اسمها الدرقية. تمام. And the, as you see here, the adrenal gland above the kidneys, to right and left kidneys. So the pituitary gland controls the activities of other endocrine glands. تخيلوا هي بتتحكم في ال other endocrine glands, as here we have the ovaries in female. Okay, we will complete our lesson today as we have to complete with other gland, as we have here in the two sides of trachea, on the two sides of trachea, and we studied before in fourth primary في رابعة ابتدائي trachea as the next organ after pharynx. As here on the two sides of trachea in the larynx we have gland. This gland is called the thyroid gland. Okay, let's go to study the thyroid gland and explain its location. زي ما هنشوف الموقع بتاعها دلوقتي. Its location as we have on both sides of the trachea، على الجنبين بتوع التراكية، as we have here and here. We have right side and left side, but the both sides are connected، يعني not separated، مش مفصولين عن بعض. So this gland on the two sides of or both sides of trachea. طيب its secretion بتفرز ايه الثايرويد gland؟ secretes two hormones، بتطلع two hormones. Hormone number one thyroxine hormone. ماله الثايروكسين هرمون ده؟ بيعمل ايه الثايروكسين هرمون؟ يبقى نمبر 1 thyroxine hormone. Thyroxine hormone, its function to control food assimilation. يعني ايه يا مستر food assimilation process in the body. As we have here food assimilation, which means releasing energy from food. يعني control the releasing of energy from food. بتتحكم في إطلاق الطاقة من الأكل. يعني الثايروكسين هرمون is secreted from thyroid gland. بيطلع من الثايرويد gland. And its function to control food assimilation. Food assimilation, which means control the releasing of energy from food. The first hormone. The second hormone is called what? The second hormone is called calcitonin hormone. calcitonin hormone اسمه كده. طب أظن كلمة calcitonin جاية من كلمة إيه؟ calcitonin hormone. We can yes, that controls the Ca, which means calcium level in blood. So we have number one thyroxine hormone. Number one thyroxine hormone control food assimilation, releasing energy أو إطلاق الطاقة from food. And number two we have here calcitonin hormone. Control what? Controls what? The level of calcium in what? In blood. بيتحكم في مستوى الكالسيوم not in bones مش في العظم. In blood or in body عموما. طيب some students may ask me if the thyroxine hormone increase or thyroxine hormone decrease. يعني افرض ايه اللي حصل بقى لو الثايروكسين هرمون secretion increase. Here we have the first case as we see here. Decreasing أو decrease of secretion in the thyroxine hormone. لو حصل ان الثايروكسين هرمون قل في الدم ايه اللي يحصل؟ We have here due to the lack of iodine in food. بسبب نقص نسبة الايودين اللي هم بيسموه بالعربي اليود في الأكل. يبقى may we have give reason for here. Give reason for the decreasing of secretion or thyroxine hormone secretion in the blood. ليه قل الثايروكسين هرمون؟ أقول له due to lack of iodine in food. نقص lack يعني نقص of iodine in food. So here we have the first case as the result of decreasing in the thyroxine hormone. We have disease. This disease is called simple goiter. Simple goiter. So what is meant by simple goiter? As enlargement بيحصل تضخم of thyroxine thyroid gland. بيحصل تضخم في الثايرويد gland as we have here in this picture. Here we have the location of thyroid gland in this place on the both sides of trachea في المكان ده. فيحصل ان in the neck region in your in the neck في منطقة العنق هنا بيحصل تضخم. يبقى enlargement of what? Of thyroid glands. The first symptom من أعراض simple goiter as enlargement of thyroid and the neck العنق. طبعا in this case طبعا we have to take some medicines طبعا under the supervision of doctor. Okay, we have another case by increase of secretion in the thyroxine hormone. لو الثايروكسين هرمون زاد في الدم. As we have here exophthalmic goiter. Exophthalmic goiter which means أو comes from exophthalmosis معناها جحوظ العين. So we have number one the first symptom أول عرض من أعراض المرض enlargement of thyroid gland. هيحصل برضو تضخم في الثايرويد gland. Number two loss of weight. طب لو حد ملاحظ معايا ايه loss of weight؟ يعني فقدان الوزن، يبتدي يخس. طب ليه؟ مش احنا متفقين مع بعض هنا ان الثايرويد هرمون، ثايرويد جلاند سكريت ثايروكسين كنترول فود اسيميليشن، يعني releasing energy from food. تخيلوا يحصل حرق، كمية the burning أو عملية الحرق of digested food will increase more than normal limit. ليه؟ لأن الثايروكسين هرمون increase. يبقى لما يجي يقول لي the symptom هنا هقول له enlargement of thyroid gland number 1. number 2 loss of weight، فقدان في الوزن. نمبر 3 تنشن، بيبقى عصبي قوي الشخص ده. نمبر 4 اكسوثالموسز، يعني جحوظ في العين، تلاقي العين مبرقه لبره او طالعه لبره شويه زي ما احنا شايفين الصوره دي كده. طبعا هنا we can talk about as we see here we have enlargement of thyroid gland in this region في منطقه the neck, loss of weight, tension and exophthalmosis as اللي هو العين بيحصل فيها جحوظ او تورم for او to outside للخارج. اوكي. Here we will talk about pancreas. هنتكلم على البنكرياس and we studied before in fourth primary، خدناها في رابعة ابتدائي قبل كده as we talk about pancreas in the digestive system، خدناها في digestive system. We talk about today about the location firstly، مكانه فين؟ beneath the stomach، تحت المعدة. between the duodenum اللي هو الاثنى عشر زي ما بيسموه بالعربي، part from the small intestine. Here we talk about the location of what? The location of the pancreas as we see here. اهو البنكرياس قدامنا as leaf، عامل زي ورقة الشجر كده اهو. and its place below the stomach، تحت المعدة. between the duodenum اللي هو part from the small intestine. طيب at the same time we should know the secretion of pancreas. يا ترى البنكرياس ده بيطلع ايه او secrete what؟ secrete طبعا yes insulin hormone. insulin transfers، بيعمل ايه الانسولين بقى اللي احنا بنسميه بالعربي الانسولين؟ insulin transfers sugar، بينقل السكر اللي هو الجلوكوز from blood to what? to store in liver and muscles as glycogen. يبقى الفانكشن، فايدة الانسولين هرمون ان هو بينقل sugar or glucose، بينقله منين؟ from blood، بينقل السكر من الدم عشان يتخزن to store in liver في الكبد as glycogen. glycogen is a type from sugar or carbohydrate، نوع من انواع الكربوهيدرات as glycogen. We will study this glycogen in first secondary in biology، هتاخدوها في اولى ثانوي في البيولوجي as we know more information about glycogen. يبقى عشان كده الانسولين decrease، لو الانسولين قل السكر بيعلى في الدم، عشان كده الانسان suffers from diabetes اللي هو مرض السكر. يبقى here dear students we talk about insulin and insulin its function to transfer، بينقل sugar from what? from blood to store عشان يتخزن to store in what? to store in liver as glucose no as glycogen في صورة glycogen. okay. as we have here at the same time glucagon hormone، عندنا هرمون عكسي برضو من البنكرياس. so here we have what? glucagon hormone. this hormone بيعمل ايه بقى؟ بيعمل convert glycogen in muscles and liver، يرجعه تاني into glucose in blood. يبقى يا مستر نخلي بالنا ان البنكرياس is double functional gland. pancreas is what double functional glands. why؟ اقول له ليه double functional gland؟ اقول له تعالوا نجاوبها هنا. اقول له because اهو بيعمل ايه بقى البنكرياس؟ secrete insulin. بيعمل ايه الانسولين؟ convert بيحول جلوكوز into glycogen store in muscles في العضلات and liver وفي الكبد. number 1 and number 2 بيطلع secrete اقول له secrete glucagon هرمون. بيعمل ايه الجلوكاجون هرمون؟ اقول له convert glycogen to glucose in blood. يقوم مرجعه تاني في صورة as glucose in blood، يرجعه للدم تاني as during fasting واحنا صايمين مثلا the ratio of glucose in blood will decrease. so glucagon هرمون بيعمل ايه الجلوكاجون هرمون؟ will convert يقوم محول لي glycogen stored in liver and muscles، متخزن سكر متخزن، يرجعه تاني in form of glucose طبعا in blood. so we know now the function of pancreas. but at the same time we have another gland. طبعا هنا my dear students we should remember ان البنكرياس if insulin hormone decreases in blood what happens in this case؟ man suffers. هنا man معناها human suffers from diabetes. diabetes اللي هو مرض السكر، اللي احنا بنسميه بالعربي مرض السكر يعني، او السكري زي ما بيسموه باللغه العربيه الفصحى يعني. يبقى هنا if insulin hormone decreases from pancreas so the glucose ratio in blood will increase. نسبة السكر في الدم هترتفع. ليه؟ because insulin its main function وظيفته الأساسية ان هو transfer glucose from blood، يسحب الاكسترا طبعا او الاكسس، مش كل الجلوكوز، the excess glucose اللي هو الشوجر from blood to muscles and liver. but if we need some glucose to release energy عشان احنا محتاجين energy insulin will secrete glucagon hormone from pancreas برضو. يبقى البنكرياس will secrete what؟ glucagon hormone. يعمل ايه؟ يقوم مرجع تاني بقى، يبقى change glycogen into glucose in the blood. so all hormones as we see now, what is meant by hormone? hormone is a chemical message control and organize the vital activities in the human body. يبقى number 1 عندنا هرمون growth hormone from the pituitary gland. we have another hormones from the pituitary gland to control other endocrine glands. we have hormone to control the food assimilation تنظيم الغذائي في الجسم food assimilation thyroxine hormone from thyroid gland. we have calcitonin hormone control the level of calcium in blood or in body from thyroid gland. and now we have insulin hormone and we have glucagon hormone from pancreas control the level of glucose in blood. We have now to study the adrenal gland. نسمع عن حاجة اسمها adrenaline hormone is secreted from adrenal gland, its location above the two kidneys, فوق الكلى. So as we see now, adrenal gland نشوفها مع بعض كده. its location أول حاجة مكانها فين؟ location above the kidneys فوق الكلى. So if we have here the two kidneys, عندنا الكليتين اهم. زي ما احنا شايفين كده. right kidney and left kidney. كلى اليمين والكلى الشمال. هنا اهو في المكان اللي بعمل عليه السيركل ده اسمها الادرينال جلاند. بتعمل ايه الادرينال جلاند؟ سكريت ادرينالين هرمون. بتطلع لي هرمون اسمه ادرينالين هرمون. يبقى ادرينالين هرمون وظيفته ايه بقى؟ stimulate the body for emergencies. يهيئ الجسم لحالة الطوارئ. مثلا during مش لازم حاجة وحشة على فكرة، يعني الامرجنسيز ممكن تبقى if you مثلا watch مثلا football match between two teams مثلا and you as fan from one team بتفرج على ماتش مثلا ومتوتر شويه، يبقى الادرينال جلاند هنا secrete during emergencies as during exams. مثلا وانا في الامتحان احس كده ان مثلا ان انا temperature او warm body جسمي دافي، مع ان maybe يبقى temperature او the atmosphere is suitable مثلا جو يبقى مناسب. يبقى some cases يبقى هنا الادرينال جلاند طبعا مثلا during races لو انا داخل سبق مع حد في حاجه، يبقى الادرينال جلاند stimulate the body for emergencies. بيهيئ الجسم للحالات الغير طبيعيه او الحالات الطوارئ. يبقى ده الفانكشن of the adrenal gland. Okay. Here we have the two testes. As we studied before in second prep، خدناهم في تانية اعدادي قبل كده. The two testes exist only in male not in female, and we know testes طبعا الفانكشن بتاعتهم as we know هنا طبعا two testes right and left testes. ايه السكريشن بتاعهم؟ its secretion الافراز بتاعهم ايه؟ طبعا تستوستيرون هرمون as we studied in second prep، خدناهم في تانية اعدادي. responsible for مسؤول عن ايه التستوستيرون هرمون؟ the appearance of secondary sex male characters or characteristics. secondary sex male characters يعني ايه يا مستر secondary sex male characters؟ as growing of beard مثلا دقنه بتبتدي تطلع، growing of muscles العضلات بتبتدي تبقى اقوى عند الميل more than female، تمام، harsh or rough voice or sound صوته يبتدي يبقى خشن. يبقى testosterone hormone secreted from testes and responsible for the appearance of secondary sex male characters. Okay. As we have another gland here, we have the two ovaries. The two ovaries exist only in female. Okay, here we have the two ovaries as we studied before in second prep، خدناهم برضو في تانية اعدادي. We have left and right ovary. So as we have the first secretion is progesterone hormone. progesterone hormone ايه الفانكشن بتاعت البروجسترون هرمون؟ زي التستوستيرون بالظبط بس بالنسبه as for female not for male. يبقى progesterone hormone its function secretes during a yes pregnancy. يبقى البروجسترون هرمون ده بيفرز اثناء الحمل. يبقى during pregnancy طبعا for uterus growing of the uterus membrane للرحم to be more stable for the pregnancy عشان أثناء فترة الحمل. And we have another hormone as its name is estrogen hormone. Is estrogen hormone. Estrogen hormone secretes for what? For the appearance of female secondary sex characters or characteristics. يبقى the two ovaries secrete two hormones. progesterone hormone، خلي بالنا من كلمة progesterone عشان ما ننساش، progesterone pregnancy. يبقى progesterone أنا بربط pro pregnancy عشان ما ننساش. يبقى progesterone hormone secreted during or is secreted during pregnancy. While we have another hormone as we talk about estrogen hormone secretes for the appearance of female secondary sex characters as مثلا accumulation of fats in some regions of the body, as sharp voice الصوت اللي هو الرفيع او الصوت الناعم مثلا in female not in male. عشان كده بنسميها secondary sex characteristics. Okay dear students, now we have as we know what is meant by hormone, and in this year we study only the endocrine gland. خلي بالنا من الكلمة دي endocrine gland. We should know endocrine gland as ductless glands. يعني ما عندهمش تيوب secrete hormones directly to the blood. We have no tube، مفيش أنبوبة or duct between the gland and the blood vessels اللي هي الأوعية الدموية. لا، these glands are called ductless glands or endocrine glands. We have two names. Why? Because they secrete hormones directly to the blood. Okay? And at the same time we have more than 50 hormones. عندنا أكتر من 50 من 50 hormones are secreted in our bodies from different glands. And we study in this episode number 1 pituitary gland. وقلنا لازم نبقى عارفين we should know number 1 the location، المكان فين؟ below the brain. تمام؟ as old movie كان في فيلم قديم بيتكلم عن الموضوع ده as اسمه جري الوحوش تقريبا، بيتكلموا على البيتوتري جلاند and try to get piece from this pituitary gland and transfer to another patient in the same movie. And طبعا this surgery is not possible because we know now the location of pituitary gland is below the brain، تحت المخ. طبعا we can't get it from human in life. لازم يبقى dead bodies أو dead body to get this gland or part from this gland. Number 2 we know the pituitary gland is called the master gland، هي الغدة الأم or the main gland because it secretes hormones to control all the other endocrine glands. بتتحكم في كل الاندوكراين جلاندز التانية اللي احنا قلناهم. يعني هم مش هيشتغلوا without orders from pituitary gland. انا بقول pituitary gland ما قلتش brain، ما قلتش المخ. يعني الثايرويد جلاند or adrenal gland or pancreas or testis or ovaries can't secrete their hormones without order from the pituitary gland to increase secretion or decrease their secretions، عشان يزودوا الافراز او يقللوه. اوكي؟ طيب البيتوتري جلاند كنترول ذا جروث، بتتحكم في النمو، عشان كده مش كلنا في نفس الطول. and we have some cases as gigantism or dwarfism. gigantism due to increasing of growth hormone during childhood. كل ده بيحصل اثناء مرحله الطفوله، لان النمو till 18 years وبعد كده النمو يبتدي يقف. عشان كده بنقول كلمه childhood. اوكي؟ and if the growth hormone decreases during childhood we have dwarfism. The other gland is called the thyroid gland. Its location هيسألني دايما على location. مكانها فين؟ On both sides of the trachea. على الجنبين بتوع التراكية. And connected lobes. يعني الفصين متوصلين ببعض. They أو it secretes بتفرز ايه؟ thyroid gland secrete thyroxine hormone. Thyroxine hormone control the food assimilation. بتنظم حرق الغذاء. اوكي؟ To obtain energy. If thyroxine hormone increase لو زاد في الثايروكسين هرمون يبقى هيحصل exophthalmic goiter يعني exophthalmosis جحوظ في العين. enlargement of thyroid gland هتتضخم. tension. Loss of weight. If thyroxine hormone decrease we have simple goiter. We have thyroid gland increase or enlargement and طبعا with neck لأنها موجودة on the both sides of the trachea. طيب اللي احنا فهمناه ده كله بقى ايه؟ احنا فهمنا كده ان انا عندي في حاجة اسمها feedback mechanism. يعني ايه feedback mechanism؟ feedback mechanism which means all hormones act together. كل الهرمونز اللي شغالة في جسمنا دي مع بعض، في حاجات بتعمل حاجات عكس بعض طبعا. act together to obtain the internal body balance عشان يحصل توازن داخلي في الجسم. تخيلوا كل الهرمونز اللي احنا بنقولها دي وغيرها في other hormones we will study in secondary stage in biology. هناخدها في البيولوجي بس في ثانوي. اوكي؟ these hormones control the homeostasis. حاجة اسمها homeostasis معناها internal body balance التوازن الداخلي في الجسم. اوكي؟ تعالوا نشوف كده مع بعض. اهو feedback mechanism as we see. لو بصينا كده مع بعض هنا feedback mechanism. hormones لو ممكن on the monitor please. hormones work together to achieve the internal body balance او internal balance اللي هو homeostasis in the human body. يبقى انا عندي حاجة مهمة جدا لازم اعرفها، ان كل اللي انا اتكلمت عنه ده to reach عشان اوصل الى feedback mechanism. What is meant by feedback mechanism؟ اقول له hormones work to achieve عشان تحقق ايه؟ the internal balance التوازن الداخلي. What is meant by internal body balance? It's the meaning of internal body balance is homeostasis. يعني may we have to ask about the اهو homeostasis. What is meant by homeostasis? Or homeostasis which means internal body balance التوازن الداخلي للجسم. يبقى from this definition we know now all hormones work to achieve the internal balance or internal balance which means homeostasis in the human body. Okay, let's go dear students to start with some questions. And now we finish our syllabus in this term. خلصنا المنهج. From next episode إن شاء الله we have revision or general review about all points in this syllabus. Start with point number 1. ابتدي مع بعض. بيقول لي number 1 is the only way for hormones to reach their sites of actions or of action. الطريق الوحيد للهرمونز عشان reach توصل their sites of action. اقول له ايه؟ yes, blood. Blood is the only way for hormones to reach their sites of action. Okay. Number 2. The second question is, pituitary gland lies below what, and it is called what or main gland? Pituitary gland lies below what, and it is called the what or main gland. طبعا pituitary gland below, yes, the brain, تحت المخ, and it is called the what or main gland, called the master or main gland. master يعني السيدة أو سيدة الغدد أو الغدة الأم. Number 3. The two hormones secreted by pancreas are what and what? We have two hormones are secreted by pancreas. As we have, hormone number 1 is called what? Yes, it's called insulin. Hormone. And glucagon hormone. We have two hormones are secreted from the pancreas. Okay. Next. Choose. Number 1. Pituitary gland is called the what gland? As we have, number 1, activity, master, or low gland. I think it's very easy now to answer this question, because now we have, yes, master gland. Next question. Choose. The hormone which determines the height that the person will reach at adulthood stage is what hormone? Again, the hormone which determines the height that the person will reach at adulthood stage is what hormone? Thyroxine, insulin, or growth? Yes, we can answer this question. Yes, this hormone is called what hormone? It's called growth hormone. It's called growth hormone. ليه عرفت منين؟ لأنه قال لي in this question قال لي determines بيحدد the height طول. يبقى we talk about what? We talk about growth hormone. As we see, dear students, here in these questions, all depends on ان احنا نبقى how can we understand the questions, not remember أو نحفظ وخلاص. We have to know the mechanism of each from lesson 1 to the last lesson, from the chemical reactions, and we going through electric current, going through genetics, mutation, and then the last point in our syllabus is the hormones and endocrine glands. From the next episode, inshallah, we will have to make a general review about all the points in this syllabus. Until we meet again, I hope you get more benefit from this episode. Thank you, see you soon, and goodbye.